If anybody says to you, to your face, in front of your friends, in front of your peers, in front of your family, that Reiya is a bad ruler, you look them right in the eyes and you say, look here, pal. Look here, friend. I don't agree with you. Then you stick your fingers in your ears and you go, la 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 la, not listening, la 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 la, not listening. If that fails, you look them again in the eyes, real calm, and you say good point, and go play Hanzo Machines. Thank you, everybody. This was my review. Tune in next time. Oh, you're still here? Okay, you actually want a Reiya updated deck? Okay, cool. I'm not saying that Reiya is a bad ruler. I'm not. That's exactly not what I am maybe not saying for sure intentionally. What I am saying is that she is exceedingly difficult to play when you don't have Divinity. And I meant to say Divinity, but I think it sounded like Definity. Divinity. She doesn't have Divinity. That being said, here is my Reiya Tribal Fairy Tail updated deck. It's not bad. It's not bad. If you're asking for my opinion, it's not bad. I like it. Of course, I built it. Totally biased. Here's the deck. The deck runs with 2 colors, light and dark. The ruler, of course, being Reiya, the 4th daughter of Mikage. On her ruler's side, she is a vampire. A vampire with judgment for darkness and light. Energize for darkness. At the beginning of your game, put a mystery counter on this card. And then she has the awesome secondary ability of putting 2 more on here. Those could technically get cancelled if your opponent has Energize and Allurite, but I have literally never seen that happen, but it is a thing that could happen. She flips over after Judgmenting. She becomes Reiya, 4th daughter of the Mikage, so same thing. 12/12 flyer vampire. When this card enters the field, put 3 mystery counters on it, so pretty much like her front 2 abilities, but all in one go. She can then tap and remove a mystery counter, destroy target Resonator. And she has her 3rd ability, which I always forget about, Eye of Ragnarok. When this card enters the field, look at your opponent's hand and choose a card. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent cannot play cards that share a name with that card. Sounds like a good thing in theory. Doesn't work. Unfortunately, it's not that crazy bananas. It's not that crazy. So yeah, that's the ruler of this deck. We are running 2 colors, so our first card slot unfortunately needs to be attributed to helping fixing those color discrepancies. We've got Idol of Magic. We run 3 of this edition. You cast it for 1 colorless. This is kind of an ideal first turn play. And you can pay 1 into it, banish this card, produce 1 of any color. When this card is put into the graveyard from the field, draw a card. There hasn't really been any active cards that remove cards from hitting the grave, and remove them from game, but that used to be a thing back in Lapis Cluster, so yes, this does have to hit the grave. It can't be like removed from play. Run 3 of those, bad the bias. We run 2, count them 2, of the amazing chant, The Night Before the Decisive Battle. It is a 1 darkness chant. Search your deck for a mystery, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. No, this isn't being facetious. This card says mystery, but I'm sure that it meant to say mystery chant. Yeah, there are a couple of mystery chants in here that we only run 2 of, and I think there might even be 1 that we only run 1 of. So this helps essentially knock the numbers of those cards effectively into higher slots. So anything that I have 2 of, I pretty much have 4 of if I'm searching for those cards. It gives you a lot of utility, and it's another one of those things that helps kind of like thin out your deck a little bit. I run 3 of the mystery chants, Blood Ritual. I freaking love this card. I don't know why I wasn't playing this card before. Maybe just because there wasn't a lot of readily available Drain Resonators, but yeah, here's the card. It is a 1 darkness quick cast mystery chant. Target J/Resonator gains +6 until the end of turn. You lose 400 life. And then the thing that I usually pay it for, Awakening, remove a mystery counter from your J ruler. Your J Resonator gains +9/+9. Instead, you lose 600 life instead. So you put this bad boy onto one of the many Drain Resonators in this deck, and you're like, boop! I would have lost 6, but I gained at least 9. So, yes sir, thank you ma'am. I run 3 of those bad boys. I run 4 of the phenomenal, probably one of my favorite mystery chants, Sword of the New Moon, one in glorious full art. And I'm actually kind of, this wasn't planned, but I'm recording this video at dusk, so it's like the vampires are about to come out. Anyway, so it is a 1 darkness quick cast mystery chant that has the following ability. Choose 1, destroy target resonator with total cost 1 or less, or destroy target resonator with total cost 4 or less if the card was awakened. Awakening, remove a mystery counter from your J ruler. In terms of what you're actually getting back for the awakening, removing 1 mystery counter is actually fairly cheap. So I run 4 of these, and considering how much those, 6 Jizzo statues are causing me problems as of late, having something that can just kill a 1-drop is not bad. The next card, since I do expect that a lot of the Resonators in this deck are going to be hitting the grave, not so much because of my abilities, but because of my opponents being overly aggro assholes, I run 2 of the new amazing chant from Strangers to New Valhalla, March of the Dead. It is a 1 darkness chant that has the following ability. Put target Resonator with total cost 2 or less from your graveyard into the field. Put up to 1 second target Resonator with total cost 2 or less from the graveyard into the field if this card was awakened, and the awakening is 2 darkness. I run 2 of these. These work way better in my Lich deck with all of my Joan the Maiden of Madness or whatever, just because they're going to have swiftness when they hit the field if I have 1 other Resonator already on the field. It's just really good. Continuing on with the theme of Grave Recursion, we have 2 of the Chant Command of Life and Death. It is a 1 darkness and 1 light, or 1 colorless chant. Put target Resonator total cost 3 or less from the graveyard into the field. I run quite a few really good 3-cost Resonators in this deck, so this is quality. Okay, we're coming up to our first Rezo. I run 3 of one of my favorite fairy tale chants, the Dark Riding Hood Messenger of Truth. She is a 2-drop, 1 light, or, oh goodness, 1 darkness and 1 colorless fairy tale resonator, 6/6. Remove a mystery counter from your J ruler, invert this card. I love that this card does not require J activating to invert. Most of the inverse cards do. So you can actually, since this kind of activate ability is at quick cast speed, you could do it during your opponent's turn, and you could flip her and use her as her inverse side as a blocker. So if somebody comes at you with a 7/7, you go, nope, remove mystery counter, inverse her, she becomes an 8/8 Red Riding Hood Recovered Hope with barrier for fire and darkness. And that's just a quality. With the amount of mystery counters that we have on this ruler and in this deck specifically, that really isn't a problem. And you can do that really easily early game. The next Fairy Tale Resonator that I run on the deck is 3 of the Resonator Grimmia's Fairy. 2 of them in glorious full art. For 2 lights, you get a 5/5 Fairy Tale Flying Drain Resonator. Wowzers. The thing that kind of sucks is that producing 2 hard light early game in this deck is kind of hard. Kind of hard if you don't already have the Idol of Magic. And realistically, even if you had Idol of Magic, the earliest you could summon this thing would be like turn 2, turn 3 if you're really lucky and you get the right stones. So usually if I see that card in opening hand, I'll mulligan it. If I see one later on, there's no problem. I just don't want to have it early game. So I run 3 of Grimmia's Fairy. Ooh, here's a card I feel a little bit kind of split on. It's called Twin Blades of Hope and Despair. For 1 light and 1 darkness, it's a quick cast chant. Target Resonator you control gains +6/+6, and this is the part that always kind of burns my biscuits. And, so it's the same statement, both have to be resolved for the card to effectively complete. And target Resonator your opponent controls gains -6/-6 until the end of turn. Then remove this card from the game inverted. Yes, it is an inverse card. And yes, if you do not resolve both parts of that card, you kind of get screwed. So if your opponent has banishing cards, if your opponent has ways of destroying your Resonator or destroying their Resonator before this card fully resolves, it's a dead card, unfortunately. But let's assume that you're going up against somebody who don't know how to play the game too well, which doesn't really happen that often. But anyway, let's say you play the card. On its inverse side from the removed area, it becomes Sword of Fate for 2 light and 2 darkness. Play this card only from your removed area. Choose one, destroy target J/Resonator, or put target Resonator total cost 5 or less from your graveyard into the field. We don't really have Resonators that get that kind of beefy in this deck, like that are 4 or 5 costs, so I think our curve is pretty close to 3 in terms of the Resonators. We're not going to be doing the second ability unless we really need one of our 3 drops to the field and we don't have a command of life or death or something along those lines. But the destroy target J/Resonator is pretty sick. Considering that right now there really aren't too many like dependable cards to destroy J's, and J's are becoming a little crazy. Like Masterfeja was told that these new rulers were going to be vanilla and kind of shitty so that they wouldn't be way too ruler-centric. And guess what? The meta doesn't give a flying F about what people say. It just kind of does it. Yeah, you know what? IU's still a total powerhouse. Witch can still be a total powerhouse. Like, Fuji and all of his crazy dragons can still be a total powerhouse. Freaking all of these rulers can be crazy powerful. Except for maybe Loki, because Loki sucks. Hashtag make Loki great again. Hashtag can we make the next set be absolutely nothing but Loki support because she's gotten absolutely no love. Okay, enough of a rant. You know what? The reason why I'm pissed is because I wanted to make a Loki fairy tale deck, and it's just not that good. Because Loki being the ruler is not that good. Literally everything that's good in Loki is pretty much significantly better in any other deck, except for cards that specifically say do this for Loki. Anyway. The next card is a Journey to the Future. I run 2 of them, both of them in Glorious Full Art. And they are a light and dark chant with the following ability. Draw 2 cards. Then, if your J ruler is Reiya, 4th daughter of Mikage, you gain 100 life for each card in your hand. So, you've got like 5 or 6 cards, you draw up to 7 or 8, and then you gain 700 or 800 life. It's pretty good. I like it. I absolutely detest this art though. This looks like it was done by somebody on DeviantArt. Not to shit on anybody from DeviantArt, but somebody from DeviantArt who's not good. Alrighty, the next chant is Bloodspray. It's another one of those mystery chants I mentioned earlier. We've got a 2-drop, regular casting chant, mystery chant for 2 darkness. Draw 2 cards, this card deals 300 damage to you, awakening it. Remove a mystery counter from your J-Ruler. Destroy target Resonator with total cost 2 or less. I used to run a playset of these in pretty much every darkness deck, and I'm pretty sure that Damon and I used to have a running joke of if you were running darkness and you were running this, or Faithful Reunion, you just didn't know how to play, and that's fine. I run only 2 now, because there are other things that draw me, and there are other things that are just a little bit better. Getting into my 3-drops now, we've got 3 of the powerhouse Grimm of the Crimson Moon. He is a 3-drop, very, very awesome. Okay, sorry for the little skip there. I just got a call from Teacher, which I was expecting because as soon as the sun goes down, he is ready to party. Speaking of the sun going down and being absolutely ready, DTF for the young folk. Grimm, the Crimson Moon. I run 3 Grimm of the Crimson Moons. Also, it's gotten like kind of dark out because the sun has actually gone down, so I had to turn on the light. There might be a little bit of glare, and that sucks. It sucks to suck, guys. So Grimm is my favorite card in this deck, hands down. No competition. The reason being, he is a 3-drop, and his attribute is naturally darkness on his non-inverse side, but he only costs 1 dark and 2 colorless. That is freaking great! I wish more 3-drops didn't have 2 solid of something, 2 solid light, 2 solid dark, 2 solid green, whatever. So he is a 3-drop, 7/7 Fairy Tale Vampire Resonator. with Flying, Barrier, Light, and Darkness. Holy! Love this guy. Love this guy. When this card enters the field, reveal any number of Fairy Tale Resonators from your hand. Put a 1/1 counter on this card for each revealed this way. So this guy comes in even more buff than 7/7, Flying and Barrier. Whenever this card attacks, put 2 mystery counters on your J ruler. Whenever you do Judgment of a ruler, you may remove 2 mystery counters from your ruler if you do invert this card. On his Inversorino Sideroni, he becomes Grimm, Hope from the Future. He is a 10/10 Fairy Tale Human Inverse Resonator. With Flying, he keeps his Barrier, Darkness, and Light. Actually, okay, they keep it in the same order. I thought for some reason since it becomes Light on this side, they put Light Barrier first and then Darkness. Whenever this card inverts, target's non-magic stone entity loses imperishable, and this card cannot be destroyed until the end of turn. Then destroy that entity. Cards in your opponent's graveyard lose all abilities. And he's got a little blurb there about, you know, plot. All the plot. But like story plot, not the kind of plot that we like, you know. So, I run 3 of those. Then I run 3 of the new addition to the super awesome Fairy Tale Reiya Smash team, which is Dark Alice Doll. Dark Alice Doll, I've got 2 regulars and a gorgeous promo. She is a 3-drop. Boo! Boo Force of Will. This is what I was talking about. I don't like that. She is a 3-drop for 2 hard lights and 1 colorless. She is a 4/10 Fairy Tale / Doll Resonator, though Sherry isn't playable, so the Doll Resonator type kind of doesn't really mean anything anymore. She's got Flying and Drain, the best, and the following ability. Whenever you gain life, this card deals 200 damage to target Resonator or opponent / J Resonator ability triggers only once per turn. I will one day learn how to read. Unfortunately, today is in fact not that day. I run 3 of those. I do. Okay, now we get into the 1s and 2s, but really I've got more zovs of those zovs because I run the night before the Decisive battle. So, this is the card. This is one of the cards. Bloodied Winds in gorgeous full art. Bloodied Winds does the following arena. It is a 3-drop for 1 darkness and 2 colorless, Mystery Chant. Resonators gain -6/6 until the end of turn. If this card was awakened, Resonators your opponent controls gain -6/6 until the end of turn. So it's pretty much Jet Black Wings, but with a condition for awakening. And its condition, of course, is remove a mystery counter from your J ruler. Nothing too expensive. That's doable. That's doable. If your opponents are running that stupid table flip card, which you're going to be seeing a lot of, and people are like, "Oh, I don't see the problem with table flip. Table flip's not a bad card." Okay. We'll see. You'll all see. Table flip is it's a crazy card. I'm not a fan. But anyway, just being bitter. I'm being bitter because green exists. This card will help you get around that. Of course, they could always cancel it if the running cancels in said deck, but you kind of just hope. You gotta hope, because you know, rebellions are built on hope. Speaking of hope, Dancing in the Moonlight has nothing to do with hope. I run 2 of these bad boys. It is a 4-drop Chant Mystery, another one of these that you can search for 2 darkness and 2 colorless. This card deals 800 damage to each Resonator. Awakening. Remove 2 mystery counters from your J ruler, destroy all Resonators instead. This is a desperation move. This is kind of like a mid to last resort. There is nothing in this deck per se that keeps your stuff from dying, so unless you've got some stuff to Grave Recursion, and your opponent is just like freaking that one scene from Star Wars Episode 1 and just stepping on your face with a bunch of robots, you gotta use this one sparingly. This is a desperation move for sure. And then the final 2 cards in the main deck. I run 2 of literally my favorite darkness chant art in the entire freaking game. It is called Vitality Drain. It is a 5-drop for 2 darkness and 3 colorless, Chant Mystery, Quick Cast. Target player loses 1,000 life, you gain 1,000 life. Awakening, remove a mystery counter from your J ruler. This card deals 1,000 damage to target Resonator. If you don't awaken and you do the first part, you can get around opponents using table flip for the clause of damage directly to your opponent. The thing that kind of sucks, and it's one of the major reasons why this card has not seen a lot of play since pretty much everybody realized that this one card had way too much value, is because of Fair's Spell. That's the card I'm talking about. It is a 1 green that cancels any quick cast chant. Now, let's just do a quick little math. I spend 5, they spend 1. I'd even potentially spend 6 if I had to search for this card from deck. They spend 1. They're winning. They're winning that war of attrition, unfortunately. So, Vitality Drain, risky move, but it can have really, really, really big payoffs if it goes off. So, that is the only slot in the 5 cost in the deck. Let's go into stones, then we'll do sideboard, and then I'm going to go hang out with Teacher, because, like I said, something's going down, and he's ready. He's ready. I run 1 light magic stone. I run 4 completely legit, not proxied magic stones of hope, or hope magic stone, or whatever it actually is. I just know that it taps for light on one side, and the other side, if you have them out when your ruler does the tappity tap and flips-a-dee flips, it can tap for darkness and light. So I run 4 magic stones of Hoperinos. I run 1 darkness magic stone. It's one of the really nice ones. I like it. It's not the nicest art, but it definitely looks really good in full holo. By the way, just a little aside, how do you guys feel about stones not being included in booster packs anymore? Like, everything comes in the little... Like, you have to buy a whole box to get new stones now. Like, that's weird, hey? Minus, like, special stones, but we haven't gotten any special stones on the newest set. And then the final block of the stone deck, I run 4 of the Stone of the from the Dark Castle. In my opinion, the original deck art for the stone looks significantly better than the one that came as promos for your locals. But whatever. Whatever you can get your hands on. That's stones. Oh, we're getting some mad glare. We're getting some mad glare, homies. I'm gonna put this up here. You know the stone's right here. Sideboard, we were just gonna rip right through this. Just so you know, I'm not gonna go into like the uses of everything, but this sideboard is essentially meant to deal with Hanzo, because Hanzo's a total dick, and IU, more or less, and Keurig to some extent. Okay, we run, oh, and Witch to some extent. It just deals with all the stupid rulers that I don't like playing. I run 3 Thought Controls. I run 3 Separation of Fates. I run 3 Auras of Hope. I run 3 Evil Elemental Uprisings. And the newest addition to the sideboard, I run 3 Black Tears. This one I'll kind of talk about for a sec. It is a 2-drop Chant story for 1 dark and 1 colorless. Destroy all Resonators who will cost 1 or less. I don't run any Resonators that are 1 cost in this deck, and I don't have any tokens, so that will not affect me in the slightest. But if I'm going up against a Hanzo deck that runs nothing but Guinevere's, and freaking that 1-drop that removes 2 1/1 counters to tap stuff, and most recently the freaking Jizzo statues, that can potentially be a really big pain in the ass for them. So, this is Reiya, guys. This is Reiya. I hope you enjoyed. I love this ruler. She's easily one of my favorites and will continue to be so until she gets rotated. And remember, if anybody says that Reiya isn't good, you just put your fingers in your ears and you make a bunch of funny noises. Okay, guys, nothing but love. Love each other. I'll see you next time. Yeah, whatever. Okay, bye.